Alright, hey, Hades Mega here, and I'm shooting a video about a new shock that I got. Alright, so here's the story about this guy here. I got this from Mark from Vonkat. Vonkat, they make like shocks and stuff, and they also make like trials stuff, like trials gear and motocross gear through a brand called Rain VMX. Okay, and as you can see, I'm wearing one of their jerseys. So yeah, I haven't seen it on their website yet, but I'll probably try to put a link up to it if you want to buy one of these guys. All right, it's a Sur Ron Jersey. I do know there's probably a couple companies out there that make them, but this is the first time like I've seen one. Like, so he hooked me up with some. He hooked me with shock and some riding gear. So. So Mark has given me the opportunity to try a new product, or a new shock, a rear shock for the Sur Ron Light Bee. He contacted me after watching some of my videos, and he saw that I was disappointed in like the RockShox, and yeah, so I had gotten a RockShox Vivid R2C for this bike, and it was just too harsh, and I didn't like it. I wound up putting the stock Fast Ace shock back on. All right, so to tell you the truth, I'm pretty happy with the stock shock, but I'm sure there's better out there. All right, and so that's why I got this guy. All right, so he gave me the opportunity to test out a prototype of a shock they're developing for the Sur Ron Light Bee. Okay, so it looks very similar to this, any other shock for the bike. However, it has been tuned or revalved, so it works with the Sur Ron. Alright, this is designed specifically, like the specifications have been designed specifically for the Sur Ron. Alright, so as you guys know, the Sur Ron Light Bee is basically a motorcycle that uses mountain bike components. Alright, so how much does a mountain bike weigh? I don't know, like 10 pounds or something, somewhere around that area. Well, the Light Bee weighs like 125 pounds, so it's much different than a mountain bike. All right, so like a shock for a mountain bike, I don't think would work so well on a bike so heavy like this. All right, and he was telling me that a lot of the suspension, the mountain bike suspension that comes out, like a lot of the settings on the mountain bike suspension for the valving and stuff, the compression and rebound, they don't even, a lot of the settings don't work for the Sur Ron. All right, so this has been engineered so it is designed to be for this bike, right? For the weight of this bike, and for like the geometry of this bike. It has more usable tuning functions. Okay, so there it is. We'll take a close look at it, and then I will go ahead and install it, and then we'll be doing some testing on it. All right, this weekend I got a motocross race. Next month I may be racing in the Donner Hare Scramble. All right, that is one of the hardest hare scramble races in the area, is what I want to say. it's quite a famous race. All right, and yeah, so thanks again to Mark from Rain VMX and Vonkat suspension. All right, they make currently they make shocks for like an XR100 and like some other like and trial stuff. Yeah, so they made this company mainly focuses on like trials and like motocross stuff. Okay, so that's good. It's a more I think it'll be more, hopefully it'll be a better shock than what I got on there right now, but we'll find that out. All right, also he hooked me out with some other gear, some Rain VMX gloves. I think VMX stands for Vintage Motocross, so they do a lot of vintage motocross stuff. Check those guys out. All right, you can get this on their website. I will put a link in the description where you can get this gear. All right, some kind of like old school looking gloves. I'll be rocking them at the race. This jersey that I'm wearing right here, all right, it says Sur Ron. It has the Sur Ron dragon logo on it. It's in black and white. Also, I don't know what other colors there are. He must have seen that I race with black and white colors all the time, so he hooked me up with the right colored gear. That's what I want to say. All right, he got me some pants. All right, some rain pants. These look legit, guys. All right, and I was just thinking, man, my gear is starting to get old. It's all tore up and everything. So you can see here, it's perforated, like it's got a jersey material in the front. I think this is like for trials because it has like knee pads on it too. So I don't think they wear any kind of padding during trials, you know. But it's good. It'll be a little extra padding. I do wear knee pads, so okay. And then there was a jersey that he hooked me up with. All right. So I'll be putting in a good word for them at in a couple, you know, my future videos. All right, there's a Rain VMX jersey. All right, this one does have elbow pads too, so I think this is also for like trials and stuff also, which is great. I don't ride with elbow pads anymore because they just keep on falling off when I race. It's annoying. I need to get one of those like armored suits or something. Okay, so there you go. There's all the goodies. You can get that. You can get these from Rain VMX. If you're interested, I'll put a link in the description where you can get these gears. All right. But yeah, there it is. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this shock, and then I'm just going to go ahead and install it. It should be pretty easy. But yeah, we'll take a closer look. We'll kind of compare it to what other shocks I got, and then I'll go ahead and install it and test it for him. Okay. So yeah, he gave me the shock to test out for him, and then to give him some kind of feedback. I can't get any specifics, and I have to tell you that this is a prototype. This is not the finished product right here. All right, so the finished product will be different. All right, so okay, here we go. So we're just gonna take a quick look at this. I'm not gonna get too much into specifics, and he told me it's a prototype, and like he said I could shoot videos about it. Just, you know, just don't go into too much specifics is what I want to say, I guess. All right, but there it is. Okay, so we'll just go over some basic stuff about it. All right, so it's got solid bushings, okay, and they're like really loose. That's what I notice. All right, so that's one characteristic. It is not a brand new shock. Mark says he has like 2 Sur Rons that I guess he's using for test fitting and stuff. Because I told him, hey, like he's down in SoCal, and I couldn't bring him the bike for fitting, but he already has 2 Sur Rons, and he has already fitted them onto his bike. Okay. I believe this is a 450-pound spring. All right, very similar to what the stock Sur Ron has. Okay, and I think that he gave me this spring. All right, and I think he said this is a 550-pound or a 500-pound spring, and he said I'm probably not gonna need it. Okay, I have a 500-pound spring on my RockShox, and I don't like it. Okay, so it's way too stiff. Hayes Mega is looking for a shock that is more plush than the stock shock. All right, I'm looking for a more plush ride. All right, so when I hit those rocks, or you know, those big jumps, like I don't get all beat up. All right, because I race hare scrambles and like motocross and supermoto, and well, specifically for like the hare scrambles and stuff, because those are kind of like endurance races, right, in the dirt. And they're very technical, and they're going to beat you up a whole lot. So if the suspension could soak up the terrain better, then you don't have it won't beat you up as bad. All right. So, and you could ride faster, longer. Okay. So that's why I want a better shock. Right. And so that's why Mark has given me the opportunity to try this guy out. All right. As well, I'll say. Okay. It has a adjustable preload. All right, preload collar, the upper perch, there is a locking collar, all right? So that's one thing. We will go look at it on the other shocks. That's one thing I like about this. It has a locking collar. It has a regular collar for adjusting the preload, all right? It adds preload to the spring. And then it has a locking collar on the top. Because I've caught my RockShox spring get loose on it, all right? And it doesn't have a locking collar, all right? So you kind of need a locking collar is what I want to say, all right? Maybe they don't need them in mountain bikes, but the Sur Ron, dude, it moved on me. So maybe I need to tighten it more, man. But yeah, it only has one collar. This one has two, all right? It has the one to adjust the preload and one to lock it in so it won't move. So that's great. I like that. It has a external reservoir here, all right? And it has a, I think this is what it is. This is a Schrader valve. I'll put a subtitle below what it is. But yeah, it's like the regular one where you put it in your, put air in your tires, right? Okay, and then, yeah, so that's very high pressure. You fill this up with nitrogen, but it looks like it's pretty easy to fill up. You could go to like a motorcycle shop that has a nitrogen tank and just fill it up, unlike the Fast Ace one, okay? It's a two-way adjustable shock, all right, for the valving. There's a compression adjust on the top. See there? All right, so he told me that it's opposite for the other side. So for compression adjustments, when you tighten it, all right, you go clockwise, you're slowing the compression down. You're making it stiffer, all right, sort of. And then when you're loosening it or going counterclockwise, it makes it softer or speeds up the compression, all right? Okay, so the rebound adjuster is the opposite, so you have to remember that. Okay, so when you go counterclockwise, it slows down the rebound, and when you go clockwise, it speeds up the rebound, all right? And Hayes Omega is like not a master of freaking tuning suspension, so the way Hayes Omega tune suspension is I put everything in the middle and then I start adjusting stuff to see if I like it or not, and then I ride the bike. Okay, so there's the spring. We'll do a couple measurements. It's got a bump stop here. It looks like it's got a chrome shaft here, and yeah, so that's pretty much the basics right there, guys. Okay, it's got a Vonkat sticker, vonkat.us. What's the website? All right, and they do not have these for sale yet. Okay, like I said, there, it's a prototype. Yeah. Okay, so let's go compare it to the other two shocks that I got, and then I'm gonna go ahead and install it on the bike, and then start testing it out. Okay, so here we go. These are the other two shocks that I have. All right, that I've tried on my Sur Ron. This is a brand new stock Fast Ace shock. All right, that comes with a Sur Ron. And the other shock that comes with a Sur Ron is a D&M burner. All right, I don't own one of the D&M burner, but I have ridden a bike with one, and I kind of don't like it. I think this is the better shock, okay, in my opinion. And then I have a RockShox Vivid R2C, okay. This is a three-way adjustable shock, all right, if you look here. That's the biggest difference between this one compared to the rest of these, is this is a three-way adjustable. This has a high speed and a low speed rebound, all right, and it's a regular compression adjuster. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to go over just some basic stuff, all right? I'm just going to kind of glance at it and tell you the differences, all right? So each one has a reservoir, all right? I think they call it a piggyback reservoir. And they all look very similar because, like, the shock has to fit in a certain space, all right? That's why they all have to conform to this size and stuff. But yeah, so each one has a piggyback reservoir. This one looks like it's got the thickest diameter reservoir, all right? These two look very similar, all right? This one doesn't have, I don't know, there's like a cap here or something. I would guess you would have to take this cap off to recharge this with nitrogen. Okay, this one has a valve down here, all right, a Schrader valve, and you can take this to like a shop and fill this up with nitrogen, or if you know a place that has a nitrogen inflator, you can just fill this up easily. Okay, this one, I don't know, this doesn't have anything. This has a nut right here. Okay. Okay, each one of these have The rebound adjuster is down here, all right, and all the rebounds are the opposite side of the reservoir. They're all the same, okay? This one has a single small upper preload collar, okay? And the way you adjust it is you just spin the shock with it at the same time. Okay, there's no, I don't think you can get a tool in here, okay, unless there's a specific tool for this, all right? This just use a regular spanner wrenches, okay, these two here. Okay, this looks very similar to the one that's on the other one, except it's black. All right, but this one has a locking collar on top, so I like that. You don't have to worry about it loosening if you're riding the bike hard, okay? This one feels heavier. We will put them all on the scale, okay? It looks like these two have chrome shafts, and this one has, I don't know what this is made out of. It has some kind of coating on it, all right? It has like a, I think that's the Kashima coating. All right, it's supposed to reduce resistance. It makes it more slippy. Okay. So this one has, it's a plastic bushings, all right, and then the spacer inside is metal. All right, I think it's steel. All right, same thing with this. This has plastic bushings on the outside, and it has that looks like aluminum. That looks like aluminum spacer inside there. Okay. And then this one just has it looks like an aluminum bushing. All right, just all aluminum. Okay, and it just kind of just sticks in there. Okay, same for the top and the bottom. All right, hopefully I won't have any fitment problems with it. We'll find out when I install it. It looks like the thread, yeah, the threading for the fast ace shock is a little longer. All right, so you can see if I hold them side by side, the shock bodies, it's about like an inch longer, more threading, but you're probably not going to use all that anyways, man, trust me. All right, this one looks like the shortest out of all of them. Yeah, okay. What I was told by Mountain Bike Dude on the ADV forums is that you don't really adjust preload on mountain bike shocks. It's just there to loosen up the slack. The way you adjust the preload is you have to change the springs. That's why the springs are so inexpensive for mountain bikes, okay? Because they're changing the springs out all the time or something. Okay, but I like this. This is more like a motorcycle, is what I want to say. All right. Yeah, and so this one has 3 adjustments. Okay, yeah, this one has an ending rebound, and this has like a beginning rebound. Yeah, it says beginning and ending. Okay, so the rebound changes as the stroke changes. That's what I want to say. Okay, let's just do some quick measurements here real quick. I'm just gonna measure the stroke. I remember this one was like 3.5. I'm just gonna measure from the purchase to the bottom of the shock body. Okay, we'll do it in inches. This is 3.5 inches. Okay, so you got 3.5 inches of travel. However, you get a little less because there's a bump stop. Okay, I remember this one is about 3 inches. Yep, this one is 3 inches of travel. Okay, and then the Vonkat one, well, surprising, 3.5 inches. Yep, just shy 3.5. Okay, it's probably 3.5. Let me look. Let me adjust it a little. Yeah, no, that's about it. If you round up, it's 3.5. Okay, so there you go. So this guy's got a little bit more travel than the stock fast ace shock. All right, it's got about the same as the rock shocks, so that's good. I could always use a little more travel. Okay, let's just check the weights, and I think that'll be the end of the video. Okay, the comparison. Okay, we'll go with the rock shocks first. Okay, 2 pounds, 13.6 ounces. The fast ace, 3 pounds, 9 ounces. Okay, it's like a pound heavier than the Vonkat. is 2 pounds 13. So it's almost, it's a little bit heavier than the RockShox, right? 213. Oh no, it's the same. It's the exact same as the RockShox. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it weighs the same as the RockShox. Okay. All right. So biggest differences between the other shocks. It's got the Schrader. It's got a valve here, so you can add air to it. All right. I do. Like I said, this is a prototype shock. I don't know if the regular, you know, the mass production model is going to have that. All right. So, you know, don't take that with a grain of salt type of thing. All right. It has solid bushings. All right. Solid aluminum bushings. They're very loose too. And it does have a bump stop. It looks similar. It's kind of like a pyramid shaped bump stop right there. They all have bump stop. It looks like this one has the thickest bump stop out of all of them. Okay, so that's going to kill some of your stroke a little bit, but you kind of need it, right? Okay, and then the last thing we can check is how many clicks the adjuster has. Okay, so I'm gonna have to remember. I'm gonna go counterclockwise as much as I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Okay, so it was 9 9 clockwise from from bottomed out. Okay, so I'm going to count how many we get to the other side. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Okay, so that was at the highest. All right, so that's the highest compression. Okay, rebound. It's the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. I got 7. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ooh, I would say like that's 20 when it's all the way, but it didn't click. All right, so it's like 20 points of adjustment. All right, sorry, the compression is 9 points of adjustment. All right, it was 9 and 20. Okay, yeah, so that's the end of the video. This is this is a prototype of the Vonkat rear shock made specifically for the Sur Ron. Hazy Mega will be testing this guy out. Yeah, so I'll let you guys know how it goes. You'll probably hear about me talking about it in some race videos. Okay, so I plan to take this on a couple races, and we will take it to the off-road park and test it out. I will see if I can get it to a racetrack, all right, for some supermoto action. But I don't plan to go to the racetrack anytime soon. So okay, and thanks, Mark, for letting me test out your prototype shock. I'll put it through some testing. All right, here's a big up. Okay, yeah. So also I want to mention, like, I don't know when this will be coming out. I can tell you probably sometime this year, maybe. Okay, but don't take my word for it. It's okay. And like I said, this is a prototype. This is not the final product. So this isn't going to be exactly what you would, purchase if they were selling them, okay? This is like a testing unit or a prototype, all right? Hades Mega is like beta testing, okay? Price, okay? Yeah, I don't know. Hades Mega can't talk about price either, all right? No word on price, okay? Until the actual product comes out, all right? I can't like get too specific about it, is what I want to say. Okay, there you go. So that's the Vonkat Sur Ron Light Bee rear shock. All right, so check them out, vonkat.us in Southern California, and Rain VMX. All right, so Rain VMX is like, I think they make the apparel, okay, and then Vonkat, they're making these suspension components. All right, so yeah, definitely check them out. Check them out in the near future. When this guy is available. Okay. Yeah, hopefully the near future. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess they're my sponsors right now. All right. Thanks a lot. So in the next video clip, you guys will see it installed on the bike, and then that'll be the end of the video. Right. So rejoice, we have more suspension options for the Sur Ron Light Bee. Okay. So like I mentioned, this shock was specifically engineered to be used in the Sur Ron Light Bee, so that puts it above any other of those mountain bike shocks out there. Okay. I know there is that Arma EXT shock. I don't really know anything about it, and it's super exclusive, so hopefully this will be more accessible, to the general public. All right. That's what I want to say. All right, but yeah, it's good. We got more options for the Light Bee. It's so hard to find. It's pretty hard to find parts that fit the Light Bee, is what I want to say, and it's good. It's good to have more people making more parts for it. All right, check it out when it's on the bike. All right, ta-da! There it is. There she is. Installed pretty well, is what I want to say. It feels like the bushings are kind of looser than the other ones. That's what I'd say, which is pretty good, I guess. You want it to move pretty easily, so that's the first time I used a solid bushing like that on the Sur Ron. So it seemed to fit everything here nicely. Okay, it was easier to install than the Fast Ace shock. Basically, I put it in through here, and then I dropped it in through the Warp 9 stuff. All right. For whatever reason, I had to push the linkage up from the bottom and then install. Yeah, I had to install it from the bottom. Normally, I would just put it on from the top, but this, I don't know, for whatever reason, this shock doesn't go down as much. All right, but yeah, okay, so. It kind of worries me that the compression was turned up all the way. All right, but we'll roll with that first. We'll see if I like it or not. I will be testing it at a motocross race, so I really don't need a soft suspension for that race. It's probably better to have a stiffer suspension, is what I want to say. Okay, but everything installed nicely. Okay, this is how you would get to the compression adjuster, and then the rebound a little more difficult. Yeah. Got to get underneath all this stuff. Okay, right there. See my finger? Yeah, a little harder for the rebound, but just as hard as the stock shock. Okay, it looks very similar to the stock shock, is what I want to say. But I can't wait to test it out. All right, there it is. So there it is. That's the Vonkat rear shock absorber for the Sur Ron Light Bee. I don't know if they call it a special name or anything yet, but that's the Vonkat rear shock for the Sur Ron Light Bee. Check it. All right, here's what we got.